There comes a point in every man's life when he must stop waiting for approval, waiting for applause, waiting for someone to say, "Now's your time." Jim Rohn said it best, "Don't wait for someone to bring you flowers. Plant your own garden." In this video, we break down why you don't need anyone, and why that's your greatest power. Welcome back to Grind Success, the channel for high performers, deep thinkers, and future legends. If you're ready to take full control of your life, hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the wisdom of Jim Rohn. Let them talk. You owe them nothing. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. Jim Rohn said, "You must learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job." Why? Because the world loves to criticize the man who's changing. They whisper, they assume, they label. But guess what? None of that matters. You owe no one an explanation for your evolution. The people talking aren't paying your bills, building your discipline, or investing in your dreams. If they want to gossip, let them. You've got work to do. You weren't born to be liked, you were born to rise. The more energy you spend explaining yourself, the less you have for executing. You don't need their applause. You don't need their understanding. The mission is yours, not theirs. Silence their opinions with your results. The best revenge: living well, growing fast, and never looking back. Let them talk, just make sure you keep moving. You don't need approval to move forward. There's a dangerous myth floating around, that you need someone's green light to start. But Jim Rohn taught the opposite. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Too many people wait for approval. They wait for someone to validate their plan, their ambition, their next step. But here's the truth: no one's coming. You don't need their stamp of approval to begin. You need clarity, courage, and commitment. Because if you build your life around other people's opinions, you'll never live your own. Think about this. Some people won't understand your vision because they've never seen someone do what you're doing. That's not your problem. Start the business. Change the habit. Leave the comfort zone. Take the leap. You're not here to meet expectations, you're here to break pattern. Don't wait for their yes. Give yourself permission. The moment you stop needing approval is the moment you gain momentum. The green light you're waiting for is already inside you. Hit go. It's not cruel to walk alone, it's necessary. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But what if the people around you are dragging your average down? What if the crowd you're with doesn't support your growth? They stunt it. Here's the truth: sometimes, walking alone isn't cruel, it's necessary. Growth demands separation. Success requires solitude. You're not being arrogant for outgrowing small talk, lazy routines, or negative people. You're being responsible. Because your energy is limited, and your destiny too important to keep watering dead plants. Yes, the path gets lonely when you start climbing. Fewer people understand your focus, your hunger, your urgency. But solitude is not suffering, it's sharpening. It's in that quiet where you gain clarity, develop vision, and build resilience. Don't fear distance from those who no longer align. Distance is a filter. If they can't celebrate your progress, they were never part of your purpose. Walk alone if you must. Just don't walk backward. Toxic relationships drain your future. You can't grow in the same environment that made you feel stuck. And no matter how strong your goals are, they can be poisoned by weak relationships. Jim Rohn warned us, some people you can't afford to hang out with, not because you're better, but because you're becoming. If every time you get motivated, someone talks you down, that's a red flag. If your ambition makes others uncomfortable, you've already outgrown the room. And if you have to shrink your vision just to fit in, you're robbing your future for the sake of temporary peace. Toxic people don't always shout. Sometimes, they smile while feeding you doubt. But doubt is a dream killer. And comfort with the wrong people is more dangerous than discomfort with none. Choose wisely. Protect your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. The wrong people will cost you more than time. They'll cost you destiny. Cut ties. Clear space. Create distance. Your mission is too important to waste on energy leaks. Become the one who doesn't fold. Jim Rohn once said, "Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better." That quote hits hard because it calls us to strength, not sympathy. Life doesn't reward those who wait for ideal conditions or emotional support. It rewards the man who doesn't fold when things get tough. We all face setbacks, rejections, delays, moments where quitting feels easier than continuing. But your future is built in those exact moments. Strength isn't developed when everything is going well, it's forged when everything's falling apart and you keep showing up anyway. You don't need someone to hold your hand. You need to hold your standard. When the motivation fades, your habits carry you. When the world doubts you, your discipline defends you. The high-value man doesn't fold under pressure. He adapts, he adjusts, and he moves forward. Don't let emotion make your decision. Let vision lead. Let commitment anchor you. The one who doesn't fold becomes the one who finishes, and finishers build empires. Responsibility is the first step to power. Jim Rohn said it clearly. The day you graduate from childhood to adulthood is the day you take full responsibility for your life. That's the beginning of real power. Not when you get more money, more connections, or more comfort, but when you stop blaming and start owning. Excuses are chains, and as long as you say, "I can't because of them," you've handed over your power. Blame is comfortable. It makes you feel better temporarily, but it does nothing for your future. Growth begins when you say, "If it's to be, it's up to me." No more waiting on parents, partners, teachers, or bosses. You are responsible for your health, your mindset, your money, your effort, your attitude. When you step into that mindset, life bends in your favor, because life respects responsibility. The moment you stop outsourcing control is the moment you start building real confidence. You don't need anyone to take care of you. Take care of yourself, and you'll never have to wait on someone again. Responsibility is hard, but it's also your key to freedom. Emotional debt. Stop paying what you don't owe. There's a kind of debt we don't talk about enough. Emotional debt. Carrying guilt for things you didn't cause. Blaming yourself for the reactions of others. Jim Rohn taught, learn to help people with their lives, but not at the expense of your own. If someone's upset because you chose growth, that's not your burden. If someone withdraws because you set boundaries, that's not your fault. You don't owe explanations for protecting your peace. You don't owe apologies for refusing to stay small. Too many people are bankrupt internally because they keep paying emotional bills that don't belong to them. You must stop withdrawing your time, your energy, and your focus just to soothe someone else's discomfort with your evolution. Growth is not selfish. Staying stagnant to please others is. So cancel the guilt. Tear up the contract. You don't need permission to level up, and you certainly don't need to carry shame for choosing yourself. Emotional freedom starts with letting go of what you don't owe. Respect the past, but don't live in it. Your past is a classroom, not a prison. Jim Rohn once said, "The past is a place of reference, not residence." Let that sink in. Too many people relive old pain like it's still happening. But you can't create a new future while clinging to a dead story. Yes, the past taught you, but it doesn't define you. Whatever mistakes you made, they're not life sentences, they're lesson. And the longer you stare in the rearview mirror, the more likely you are to crash your future. We must learn to honor the past without dragging it around like dead weight. Your history is not your identity. What matters now is what you decide to do next. Growth isn't about erasing the past, it's about rising above it. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and then move. Because staying stuck in what was will cost you what could be. Remember this, wisdom looks back, but progress moves forward. So respect your journey, but don't live in your story. You were made for a future much greater than your failures. Take control, without permission. Jim Rohn said, life responds to deserve, not to need. That's the moment it clicks. You don't need to ask for permission to take control of your life. You don't need a green light from anyone. You just need to decide. You're not waiting on a mentor, a friend, or some lucky break. You're waiting on you to stop hesitating, stop apologizing, and start executing. Because the truth is, no one's going to hand it to you. Success is something you claim through action, not approval. When you stop seeking validation, your power returns. You begin to move like a man with a mission, not someone hoping for support. That shift changes everything. It changes how you walk, how you speak, how you treat your time. The moment you stop asking, "Is this okay?" and start saying, "This is what I'm doing," your confidence multiplies. Take control, not with arrogance, but with certainty. You were built to lead your life, not lease it out to others. No one can steer your ship like you can. Grab the wheel. You don't need a crowd to be committed. You don't need a crowd. You need commitment. As Jim Rohn put it, discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Lack of discipline inevitably leads to failure. If no one claps for you, keep going. If no one checks in, keep building. Commitment means showing up whether or not the room is full. There will be seasons when no one understands what you're doing, when the sacrifices look crazy, when your effort seems invisible. But those are the seasons that separate the serious from the soft. Don't confuse being unnoticed with being unworthy. Greatness is often quiet. The roots grow deep before the tree breaks the surface. Most people quit because they expected applause too early. But you stay. Because your commitment isn't conditional. You don't train because people are watching. You train because you promised yourself you'd rise. Stay committed to your vision even when no one sees it. That's how you build something real, something lasting, something that no one can take from you, because they didn't help you build it. Stop explaining yourself to those who don't care. Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." Part of being better is learning when to stop wasting energy on people who don't respect your journey. You don't owe explanations to those who've already made up their minds. They're not here to understand, they're here to judge. Trying to convince someone who doesn't care is like yelling into the wind, exhausting and pointless. Real growth happens in silence, not in arguments. The people who truly care will ask questions because they want to understand, not to debate or tear you down. You're not responsible for their discomfort or confusion. Your responsibility is to protect your peace and keep moving forward. Saying less isn't weakness, it's power. It's maturity. It's freedom. Stop over-explaining. Stop defending. Focus your time and energy on those who uplift you and respect your boundary. That's how you build a life that supports your growth, not one that drains your spirit. You are all you need. The final truth, you don't need anyone else to believe in you. Jim Rohn reminds us, you must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. The moment you realize you are your own greatest resource, your own strongest ally, your own fiercest supporter, that's when you become unstoppable. Waiting for external validation is waiting to stay small. You don't need constant approval, endless support, or perfect conditions to move forward. You need one thing: commitment to yourself. Stand up. Take control. Believe in your ability to create your future without waiting for anyone to show up for you. That's real power. That's real freedom. You've got everything it takes right now. The life you want won't come knocking. It's time to build the door and walk through it. Thank you for watching. If this message hit home, make sure to subscribe to Grind Success for more powerful motivation that helps you build a life on your own terms. Remember, your success is your responsibility. Keep showing up, keep pushing forward, and never forget, you don't need anyone but yourself to rise.